it's us. And tonight we watched Deadstream. You know, I'm kind of surprised. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought the first thing that really stuck out, the acting of that main guy, honestly, was perfect. Like, he 100% came across as just like one of those YouTube streamer people. Like, I could easily see him as like a Brandon Ferris or like someone else that just completely overacts for the camera. Like, nailed it, 100%. And like, I mean, some of the stuff was predictable. Like, Chrissy, you knew that was going to be the ghost, like, immediately. Like, I figured that out right away. And just a lot of the things that happened were pretty predictable. But, I don't know, that was just fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time, it was funny. The effects were all really good. Like, the monsters and the creatures and whatever, like, looked good. Like, yeah, it was fun. So now, I get it. I guess Reddit was right about this one. Because this is one of the ones on the horror subreddit everyone was ranting and raving about. And, like, everyone loved Barbarian, and that was just okay. And then everyone loved Skinamarink, and I'll never understand that. But, yeah, this one they got right.
I wouldn't rant or rave about it, but yeah, it was fun. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not, like, top 10 or anything. It's not the best thing I've ever seen. But it was a really good time. I wasn't bored. I enjoyed it. I can't think
Fun
of any...
practical effects. Great use of the GoPro cam setting.
Yeah, I am not usually one for found footage. Like, I think for every one good found footage film, there's at least a dozen that suck. But this was a very good use of the format. Like, it made sense in world why it would be found footage, which is always a big thing the other ones fail at. And, like, the way he had it set up, too, with the different cameras, like, you weren't just getting the same angle the whole time. Like, even though it was found footage, you would get first-person view, you'd get from behind, you'd get the different rooms. Like, yeah, that worked well.
If you were to take out the opening and title credits on both ends of the movie, and instead of having it be livid, if it was like YouTube, and there's like a scroll comment, scrolling comments on the side, if you would have just shown me that, I would have been like, holy shit, there's a YouTuber out there that pulled this off.
Yeah.
Great production. Yeah, I would have been really absolutely ecstatic to watch it and been like, holy wow, I want to do something like that.
Yeah, if that was an actual live stream, that would have been the greatest thing I'd ever seen. Like, that was... And again, that just goes back to, like, the acting, too. Like, it really felt like you were just watching a live stream unfold.
Yes.
Like, it didn't feel like a production. And, like, even as we're watching it, we know it's a movie. But, like, you can kind of just get lost in it, like, get in universe. And, like, I never thought, like, oh, Chrissy's going to turn out to be an actor, and they're going to be like, oh, it's all a hoax. Like, it definitely felt like in universe this was a thing that was happening, and we were watching it unfold.
And I love that about half the comments that were scrolling past were, oh, this is so fake, stupid fake. Like, that's how it would be in real life.
And, like, the person like, oh, read my screen name, or the person's like, do a fart, and just all the stupid crap. Like, it 100% was real, and just added to everything. Yes. Like, it really felt like we're just watching a live stream.
Right.
That was so well done.
Yeah, it was fun.
Even, like, the unexplained backstory with, like, his apology video and, like, all this stuff. They didn't really go into it. Like, that was, it just felt so natural and so perfect for what it was.
Yep.
So, again, not, like, the best movie ever or anything. Like, it's not my top 10, but it was a really fun watch. This is definitely one I'd recommend. If you like horror comedies, or if you want a good example of how to do found footage, or just really good world building and practical effects, like, this was definitely one I would recommend. So what would you say number-wise?
I'm giving it an 8.
So this is slightly above Dolls for you.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually thinking an 8 as well. I don't know if it's above Dolls, but again, that's just nostalgia and bias for me.
It's the same as Dolls.
I'd put it on par with it. I'd say this is just as entertaining as that was. Like, it was just... It's a fun watch. I enjoyed myself the whole time. There's a lot of little bits that I thought actually stood out as kind of impressive. Like, yeah, I enjoyed it.
I love the setting. The house was awesome. I don't know if they actually went and found a house and just made it work, and it was that layout, and like, it just looks like, I don't know that I could have pulled off coming up with. Like, I remember thinking, like, when he was first going into the house, and the boards that he's pulling off of the door to get in look so rotted and weathered and like they've been there. They weren't nailed in.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I did it, I'd be like, oh, I'll just put a modern nail in an old board to make it look like it was just there, and no one will notice the new nail in an old wood. But they actually had old nails, and everything looked right.
Yeah.
And it had a production quality that would go even beyond what I think would be necessary. So I applaud them for that, and I enjoyed that too.
It's funny too because like they couldn't have had that much production. Like it really had to have all been done in real time. Because otherwise they would have had to shoot the movie multiple times to get the various different angles from the different cameras.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they did a lot of clever editing with cutting different cams.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still think for the most part it was all like not necessarily a oneer. Like I'm sure he took multiple takes, but like he still had to actually go through everything. Like there wasn't a camera crew or anything like that. I don't think, because I think they would have gotten in the way. Like there were too many room cams and the first person cam and the over the shoulder. Like
you
couldn't have done too much.
You kind of turned it off quicker than I would have liked. I wanted to see if the guy that was acting, him and Chrissy, were the people that wrote it and did all this stuff.
Oh yeah,
because that would make a lot of sense.
But yeah, I definitely, from a filmmaking perspective, because I mean we did the film thing, so it's hard not to analyze that stuff now. This was super impressive. Like there would have been minimal, if any, crew.
Right.
Like there wasn't a lot of lighting. You could tell a lot of those, like his headlamp was doing the heavy lifting for the lighting. Like, I don't know. I feel like what we saw was actually what they filmed. I feel like there wasn't too many camera tricks. There wasn't extra crew just off screen. Like, I think the house was the house. There were no sets or faking anything there.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really impressive, honestly.
Yeah, I would love to get behind the scenes footage and see how they did that. And
this is the kind of project I want to work on.
right.
Like, for the acting stuff that we've done, this is the kind of thing that if someone's doing something like this, I will sign up immediately. This had to have been the most fun. I mean, again, it was just the guy and the girl, from what I can tell, but
there was the sheriff at one point.
Yeah, the sheriff,
different
and
ghost
some of the
people.
monster things, but
Did I miss something? How did they explain away that the ghosts were physical and they could be hurt? Did I miss that?
no, I think someone said that in the comments, but I mean, the girl hurt him right away when she bit his neck, so I don't think it was ever the case that they couldn't hurt him.
Yeah, but
I think that was just something the commenters were postulating.
Yeah, I guess maybe they just chose to go with this type of ghost. Because I'm used to just seeing like ghosts have to manipulate an object that will hurt someone. They can't physically hurt someone themselves.
Yeah, no, they got rid of that right away. Because, I mean, like we saw, the first thing she did was just latch onto his neck and bite a chunk out. So, yeah, the ghost could 100% hurt him. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's kind of impressive. Very entertaining. Definitely a fan. And if they ever want to do a sequel, I'm kind of a YouTuber and kind of an actor. I'm there.
I would be into you and me just trying to do something like that. Not a feature, maybe not a feature length something, but
stay tuned.
Just
what's coming.
Yeah, just try and do something like even more believable than that. Like not have the whole story, but like just have, I don't know, just like more.
All right, Internet, we're going to say it now because I don't do anything without a deadline. Next Halloween, somewhere in our marathon, we're doing this. Or something like it. We're going to do our own Deadstream. So, that's a thing.
I don't know. Maybe it would be fun to come up with a, I don't know, like a half hour or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, more like I was thinking more like, oh gosh, what's the movies? There was a small franchise of, like, people had the webcams in their house and the ghost...
Unfriended.
No.
Which, by the way, another very good example of found footage. And a good way to do a oneer, because that whole movie was shot in a oneer. All the guys in the same room.
It's like very little minute stuff where, like, they're laying in bed and the ghost, like, pulls the blanket back and, like, pulls the lady's leg and pulls her out of bed and down the stairs.
Were those the Paranormal Activity ones?
Paranormal Activity! Yeah, something like where, like, they don't do over the top.
Mm-hmm.
They do just enough to freak you out and make you wonder, you know?
You know, I liked that in this movie. There was a couple little subtle things that they didn't even really mention, But like the one time when he's walking back through the house and he's gonna confront Mildred and he's kind of he's ready, and as he's walking through the kitchen toward the stairs, he doesn't notice it. He doesn't say anything. The commenters don't pop up about it, but you can see the legs coming up through the hole from behind him over his shoulder. Like they didn't even draw attention. You could just see the ghost legs pulling up through the hole as it just like rose through the floor up to the upstairs. And it's just a cool little. I love when movies do just like something in the background that they don't draw attention to. Like that's awesome world building for me because I like that the ghosts like aren't only on camera. They don't exist just to jump scare. Like they're doing things. So they would be in the background somewhere and you wouldn't notice. So yeah, I love that the movie did that. Those kind of things are like what you're talking about. Like small, just believable little occurrences that the audience is like, oh, that's creepy, but it's not just like in your face jump scare about it. Like
More than Skinamarink.
Well,
but not as necessarily as in depth as this. This felt
everything is more than Skinamarink.
Yes.
That didn't do anything.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun though.
Well,
that would be a lot of prep, but I don't know that we do that.
Good movie and a terrible thing that I've just given myself a deadline for. Right? So we'll see what happens.
It's it's good when it makes you want to emulate it.
Yeah. I mean, we know a top-tier camera guy and a really good makeup guy, so... Well, before we plan it out and spoil our own video, we'll see you later.